are going to Washington, D.C., and we are going to drain the swamp.
Trump went before the American people in the campaign and said,
"We're going to drain the swamp."
Well, the swamp has now overrun Washington, D.C. There are currently more than 160 lobbyists serving in Trump's administration.
Under my administration, we're fighting against the lobbyists, the special interests, and the corrupt Washington politics.
The lobbyists and special interests are running his administration, and they are running it on behalf of their swamp friends. Some of the swampiest creatures in DC are serving in high-level positions for Trump and taking care of the corporate interests they used to represent. Andrew Wheeler, who has been nominated to be the administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency, is nothing more than the front man for the fossil fuel industry. There is a revolution occurring in sustainable energy, but Wheeler, a climate change denier and coal industry lobbyist, is focused on the short-term needs of the fossil fuel industry. After making millions lobbying for Murray Coal Company, one of Wheeler's very first acts as the interim head of the EPA was to roll back protections that keep toxic coal ash pollution out of our nation's drinking water supply. Coal ash contains mercury, arsenic, and lead, and can cause serious health risks like nausea, headaches, difficulty breathing, difficulty concentrating, diarrhea, and even death.
Today, my administration is launching the most sweeping action in history to lower the price of prescription drugs for the American people.
Donald Trump has railed against drug companies exploiting ordinary Americans.
And yet his HHS secretary, Alex Azar, was an executive who became president of Eli Lilly USA. During his time there, the price of insulin tripled,
making it too expensive for many people to afford this life or death drug. We should not have people in government who represent everything that is wrong with the insatiable greed of the pharmaceutical industry.
We are not going to reward companies that raise prices, which in the past has been most companies. Frankly, Alex used to run one of them, so nobody knows the system better than Alex, and a very successful one.
When Trump's last Interior Secretary wasn't embroiling himself in scandal, he was literally telling fossil fuel executives that the government should work for them. And he meant it. He tried to hand acres and acres of our precious public lands to the oil and gas companies so they could frack for dirty fossil fuels. And his replacement, Andrew Bernhardt, was a lobbyist for the very same fossil fuel companies that want to carve up our national parks. This guy is so corrupt that it's been reported that he has to carry a card with him to keep track of his potential conflicts of interest. The only way to take on wealthy, powerful, and greedy people is to organize at the grassroots level. We must stand up and fight for a government that represents all of us, not corporate interests.